Am I the a-hole for getting mad at my wife for involving us in our neighbor's domestic disputes? So this just happened, and I'm still mad, and my wife is mad at me and said I was being an a-hole. My neighbors were having a full-on domestic dispute that I could overhear. I heard a woman screaming and saying, "Stop hitting me, stop hitting me." My background is that I was a bouncer for 10 years and have extensive physical conflict training and experience. I am not as fit as I used to be, but I'm 6'4", still strong, 140 kg bench, 3 sets of 3, and still know how to handle myself in a violent situation. That doesn't mean I was clever, I was not. But I can at least look after myself. I'm also a white ribbon ambassador and cannot stay uninvolved with domestic violence situations like this one. My wife is 5'6", struggles greatly with heavy things, and has no formal training or experience in violence or de-escalation. I went over, and as I walked past the lounge, my wife asked where I was going. I told her there was a domestic dispute I could hear and was going to sort out. My plan was to go and stop the immediate threat of violence and then call the police. I know most people would call the police and wait, and I acknowledge that is absolutely the right thing to do. But I was raised to step in and protect people, and my mindset was to make sure this current violence ceased and that this person knew I was ready to get involved to stop them if I had to. So I walked over, and there was 4 people standing in a driveway. They all went quiet when I arrived. I walked up to them and said, "Are you guys all good?" The woman being abused was crying while half in a car, and the man said, "Yeah, this is just her, she does this." I stayed where I was to make clear I wasn't going anywhere, so he picked up by wrapping his arms around her shoulders and said, "Come on, babe, let's just go inside." The third person, who I think was a neighbor, did not go with them, and the fourth was vacuuming. Outside, on the driveway. Super odd, probably trying to get rid of a type of evidence. I told the police about this. I noted that it was bullsh, but I also knew the current situation was de-escalated into non-violence, so the next step was to call police. And then my wife came walking down the driveway. I said to her to leave it, but she completely ignored me and walked past and went and started talking to them while they were trying to leave. I said her name once more and said, "Leave it, it's done." And she completely ignored me and kept asking them questions about what was happening. The thing is, to be honest, my wife is the nosiest person you will ever meet. It's like she needs to know the details of dramas. So she walked up and into their property to try and ask them questions. I asked her to come back home with me several times, but she completely ignored me. When we were walking back, she was blasé about it, and I said to her, "I'm really, really upset with you. The situation was de-escalated, and you walked in and risked escalating it. Not only that, but it is much harder for me to protect you and me as opposed to just myself." She replied, "Well, do you know what happened?" I replied, "I don't need to know right now. It is done for now, and we need to get the police over there." She replied, "Well, he hit her." And I said, "I know, I heard it, but we need to leave it to the police at this point, and all you achieved was risking both of our safety needlessly." We went back and forth, and she was still a bit blasé about it all. But she told me she was just trying to make sure everyone was okay, and that I was being an asshole by being upset with her. I kept reiterating that she was not helping. She was risking making things kick off again and getting us both hurt needlessly.